In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA games happening on December 5th, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Los Angeles Lakers versus Boston Celtics. The Los Angeles Lakers visit the Boston Celtics at TD Garden on Friday night. The matchup comes with important injury questions on both sides and the added weight of a long-standing rivalry. For the Lakers, Marcus Smart and Luka Doncic remain out, so the backcourt depth is thin again. Even with those absences, the team comes in with strong momentum after a thrilling win over the Raptors last night. That win can help their confidence, but it also means a quick turnaround, travel, and the risk of fatigue after a high-energy game. Boston has its own problems. Jason Tatum is already ruled out, and Jaylen Brown holds a questionable tag. In recent games, the Celtics have put together a strong run and have looked like one of the informed groups in the league. Their role players stepped up in the last outing when Brown sat, which helped keep their level of play steady despite the missing star power. The key for this matchup is how both teams handle the schedule spot and the health report. The betting line suggests that the Lakers might rest at least one important veteran after playing last night. If they sit a key starter such as LeBron James, that would place even more pressure on Austin Reeves and the rest of the supporting cast. If Doncic remains out for another game as well, the Lakers lose another primary creator, and their offense depends more on Reeves, LeBron, and DeAndre Ayton in the half-court. On the other side, the Celtics look less appealing if Brown cannot go again. Their recent surge has value, but it came without facing full-strength versions of every opponent. They are solid, not unbeatable, especially in a game where both teams play with extra edge because of the rivalry. The Lakers have handled regular season spots in this series well, dating back to last year, and they sit at 14-7 ATS in that span, which shows consistent value against the number. The status of the top 2 scorers in this matchup shapes the handicap. If both play, Jaylen Brown enters after an illness strong enough to keep him out the night before, which raises questions about his stamina and workload. Doncic returns in good health after the birth of his second child, so his issue is not physical recovery but rhythm and focus after time away. If both stars sit, the Lakers appear to have the better support group, with Reeves, LeBron, and Ayton able to carry more of the usage. LeBron has let Doncic and Reeves drive much of the scoring in recent games, but he can still increase his volume when needed, especially if Doncic is not available. The Lakers have been one of the most profitable sides in the sport in betting terms, and this spot again comes down to health news and late lineup shifts. It is important to check starting groups and final injury updates before tip-off. If Brown sits again, the Lakers have a strong chance to stay within the number and keep the game tight from start to finish. As our first pick for this matchup, the Los Angeles Lakers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Both teams play at a slow pace, and each could take the floor without its best scoring option. That combination points to a lower scoring style of game. This is the second contest in 2 nights for both sides, which adds another drag on pace and efficiency. Back-to-back spots often lead to late scratches for rest and to lighter minutes for key players. Coaches in this setting often extend the rotation. Extra minutes go to players who usually sit in the third unit or at the back of the bench. That shift can help effort on defense but can harm shot-making on offense, since those players do not carry the same scoring skill or rhythm. The result is a more cautious style, with more half-court sets and fewer early clock shots. Boston already plays at the slowest pace in the league and leans on a strong defensive identity. Their scheme can grind this game down into a half-court battle, especially if they do not have their full offensive core. The Lakers, if short-handed or tired, are unlikely to force constant transition, and they may accept a slower tempo to conserve energy and protect their legs in the fourth quarter. With both teams in a schedule spot that pushes the pace down, and with star players either out or at risk of limited impact, offensive efficiency has clear downside. A tighter rotation of scorers, longer possessions, and strong Boston defense all favor a total that lands below the projected number. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Miami Heat versus Orlando Magic. Friday is the second meeting of 3 between the Miami Heat and Orlando Magic before December 9th, and all 3 take place in Orlando. This game opens a back-to-back for Miami, with the Heat set to host Sacramento on Saturday. The third meeting between Miami and Orlando falls next Tuesday, in a quarterfinal of the NBA Cup. That game carries more weight, so Miami has a reason to hold back in this one, in terms of both tactics and minutes. Miami comes into the matchup with a short rotation. Tyler Herro, who has a toe issue, is questionable, and Norman Powell, who deals with an ankle problem, shares that status. The team can choose to sit both guards in the first leg of the back-to-back and bring them back for the home date with the Kings, a game Miami expects to control at full strength. Miami has put together a strong season to this point, yet it has dropped 2 of its last 3 games, including a double-digit loss to Dallas on Wednesday. The Magic, in contrast, enter on a strong run. Orlando is 3-1 in its last 4 games, 6-2 in its last 8, and 9-3 in its last 12. Orlando can gain another boost if Paolo Banchero returns from the groin injury that has kept him out since November 12th. His presence gives the Magic another creator and scorer in the half-court. These teams met on opening night, and the Magic took that game by a score of 125-121 on October 22nd. Before the recent stumble in Dallas, the Heat had won 8 of 9 games and looked sharp on both ends of the floor. Orlando had a 3-game win streak in place before a close loss to the Spurs in its most recent outing. Miami struggled without Norman Powell in the last game, and the team might have to manage without Tyler Herro in this one. Recent trends in the matchup point toward the home side. The home team has won 7 of the last 10 meetings between the Heat and the Magic. 6 of Miami's 8 losses this season have come on the road. If Miami shows up without its starting backcourt, it faces a clear disadvantage in ball handling, creation, and scoring compared to a healthier Orlando group. Taken together, schedule spot, injuries, and home and road splits lean toward Orlando as the side. As our first pick for this matchup, the Orlando Magic to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both Miami and Orlando can score, yet the numbers suggest a game that tilts toward defense. Miami allows 113.1 points per game, which ranks 6th in the league, and holds opponents to 44.2% shooting from the field, which ranks 2nd. Opponents hit 32.6% of their 3-point attempts against the Heat, which ranks 3rd. Orlando gives up 114.3 points per game, which ranks 12th, and protects the paint with size and length. The Magic rebound at a rate of 47.1 boards per game, which sits 5th. On offense, both teams run effective sets and create good looks, yet neither group plays at a high speed from start to finish. They do not push the ball enough to create the kind of possession count that drives totals into the 240-point range. Miami prefers to slow opponents, set its half-court defense, and force long, late-clock possessions. Orlando works through Franz Wagner and Jalen Suggs in the half-court, with sets that use the full shot clock and finish at the rim or at the foul line. With both teams leaning toward controlled pace, strong half-court defense, and solid rebounding, the profile of this matchup points toward a lower scoring game than the posted number suggests. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. San Antonio Spurs versus Cleveland Cavaliers. The San Antonio Spurs visit the Cleveland Cavaliers at Rocket Arena on Friday night in a matchup of a hot road team against an injury-hit home favorite. San Antonio arrives with momentum. Cleveland leans on its depth in front of its own crowd, but with a short bench. The Spurs remain without Stephon Castle and Victor Wembanyama. They have adjusted their rotation and roles to cover those absences on both ends of the floor. The Cavaliers list Darius Garland, Max Strus, Jarrett Allen, Sam Merrill, and Larry Nance Jr. as out, which strips playmaking, spacing, size, and second-unit stability from their lineup. San Antonio plays without its franchise center, yet owns a record of 7-2 since Wembanyama went down. That 9-game run provides a useful picture of how this group functions without him. The spread sits around +5.5 points for the visitors, and the recent form sheet reflects a team that competes with consistency in that underdog role. The Spurs spread their scoring across the roster. 7 players, not counting Wembanyama, average double figures. De'Aaron Fox leads with 25.0 points per game and sets the pace as the primary creator. Stephon Castle, when healthy, chips in 17.5 points per game as a strong secondary option. Devin Vassell adds 15.7 points per game and helps stretch the floor on the wing. Rookie guard Dylan Harper, the number 2 overall pick, fills several gaps with 13.6 points, 3.5 assists, 3.0 rebounds, and 1.1 steals per game. That mix of scoring, passing, and on-ball defense gives San Antonio a balanced identity. The Spurs attack the ball on defense, with 6 players averaging more than 1 steal per game, which feeds their transition game and keeps opponents under pressure in the half court. Cleveland's 2025 to 2026 season falls short of the standard set last year. The Cavaliers sit at 13-10 and have dropped 4 of their past 5 contests. Their home court edge has faded, as an 8-5 home mark shows a solid but not intimidating profile. They enter this game after 2 straight home losses, including a 122-110 defeat to Portland on Wednesday. That loss came on their own floor and raised questions about their current defensive level and energy. Head coach Kenny Atkinson must navigate the absence of key starters and rotation players. Center Jarrett Allen, out with a finger issue, removes a core piece of their interior defense and rim finishing. Guard Darius Garland, sidelined with a toe injury, takes away an important ball handler and pick-and-roll partner for Donovan Mitchell. With several shooters and role players also out, the Cavaliers lean harder on Mitchell's individual scoring and on makeshift lineups that lack rhythm. The Spurs, on the other hand, come in as one of the form teams in the league over the last couple of weeks, with 7 wins in their past 9 games. Their recent gritty win over the Magic on Wednesday reinforces the picture of a group that grinds out results despite absences. Cleveland looks more fragile. The Cavaliers enter this matchup after a poor showing against the struggling Trail Blazers, a game where Donovan Mitchell scored 33 points yet still could not drag his team into real contention because of defensive leaks and limited support. Market perception still treats Cleveland with respect. Oddsmakers give the Cavaliers the benefit of the doubt, but the betting results paint a different picture. Cleveland holds a cover rate of 31.8% against the spread. Only Washington and the Clippers rank worse in that metric. In practical terms, the Cavaliers land short of expectations more often than not in spread markets, especially in this injury phase. San Antonio sits on the other side of that ledger. The Spurs remain undermanned, yet they win, compete, and reward backers with a 12-8-1 record against the spread. Their style travels, as the ball pressure on defense and shared scoring tend to hold up in different gyms. Historical trends between these teams also tilt toward the team catching points. The underdog is 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 meetings between the Cavaliers and Spurs. San Antonio has covered in 7 of its last 9 games overall, which matches the record straight up and confirms the recent performance is not a fluke line-driven quirk. In the current injury context, with Cleveland short on key starters and support pieces and San Antonio playing with confidence and depth in production, the question centers on whether the Cavaliers can justify a sizable favorite tag against an informed opponent that embraces the underdog role. As our first pick for this matchup, the San Antonio Spurs to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The San Antonio Spurs average 118.8 points per game on 49% shooting from the field. That pairing of volume and efficiency points to an offense that finds good looks and converts them inside the arc. They allow 113.6 points per game on 45.9% shooting, which indicates a defense that bends but does enough to avoid constant shootouts. From long range, the Spurs hit 35.7% from beyond the arc. They shoot 80.7% at the free throw line, which gives their scoring profile stability in close games and late possessions. On the other end, opponents shoot 38.9% from deep against San Antonio, which exposes a vulnerability on the perimeter. That figure matters for any total, since it signals that rival guards and wings can punish mistakes on closeouts and rotations. The Spurs also secure 44.8 rebounds per game, which limits second chance scoring and can pull totals down when they finish defensive possessions clean. The Cleveland Cavaliers average 119.6 points per game on 46.3% shooting. Their scoring output sits in a similar band to San Antonio's, but with slightly less efficiency from the floor. They allow 115.8 points per game on 46.7% shooting against, which confirms that their defense takes hits, especially with Jarrett Allen and other key pieces out. From deep, Cleveland converts 35.3% of its three-point attempts and shoots 75.6% from the free throw line. That weaker mark at the stripe can stall scoring runs and shave a few points off final totals in tight spreads. Defensively, the Cavaliers allow 36.3% shooting from beyond the arc. That number reflects a unit that struggles at times with perimeter containment, but does not bleed threes at the same clip as the Spurs. Cleveland grabs 43.9 rebounds per game, slightly fewer than San Antonio, which hints at more second-chance opportunities for opponents and some extra possessions that can cut either toward higher scoring or toward empty trips, depending on shot selection and fatigue. When you combine San Antonio's efficient scoring, free throw strength, and rebounding with Cleveland's offensive output, defensive lapses, and current injuries, the total hinges on whether the game settles into a half-court contest with controlled tempo or a faster exchange that rewards volume over efficiency. The personnel losses on both sides, especially for Cleveland, point toward stretches of choppier offense and variable spacing, even with headline scoring talent on the floor. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Utah Jazz versus New York Knicks. The Utah Jazz visit the New York Knicks for a Friday matchup at Madison Square Garden in regular season NBA action. The setting gives New York the familiar court, their own rims, and their own routines, while Utah comes in as the road team. New York also has a rest edge, which helps their case as the favorite. There is a chance that Anunoby returns to the lineup, which would add size, defense, and some spacing on the wing for the Knicks. The market has leaned into these edges, which is why New York sits as a heavy favorite at home. Utah still brings recent form that keeps this spread interesting. The Jazz have won 3 of their last 4 games and have covered in 4 of their last 6, so they enter this spot with some positive momentum against the number. The last time they caught a double-digit spread as underdogs, they did not only stay inside the number, they beat the Rockets outright, which shows they can hang in this price range when their offense clicks. The Knicks have rewarded backers in this role with 7 straight covers as a double-digit favorite, but with the way Utah has competed and the size of this number, I will still take the points with the Jazz. As our first pick for this matchup, the Utah Jazz to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Utah's profile on the season leans toward high-scoring games, but the details matter here. The Jazz are averaging 118.5 points on 45.4% shooting from the field, while they allow 125.4 points on 48.5% shooting. They hit 33.5% of their threes and 81.4% at the free throw line. On the other side of the ball, they give up 36.8% from deep and they pull down 46.2 rebounds per game, which helps them limit second-chance looks even when their initial defense slips. New York brings strong offense as well, yet with a bit more balance between scoring and defending. The Knicks are averaging 120.8 points on 47.2% shooting and allow 114.3 points on 46.6% shooting. They shoot 37% from 3 and 80.1% at the line. They allow opponents to hit 37.9% from beyond the arc and collect 45.8 rebounds per game, which keeps them competitive on the glass and helps them close possessions. The mix of efficient scoring from both sides, along with their three-point and free throw numbers, comes against totals that already account for their pace and recent output. So in this matchup, I favor the under on the projected number for the full game. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.